Hey guys, this is Downphoenix, and there's been a lot of hype lately since we just had the Video Game Awards, like we do every year around this time. And one of the great things that we see at events like this is we get to see all kinds of cool game trailers that either are for games that are being debuted for the first time, or they're like brand new trailers that are being shown for the first time for games that we are already excited about. And there's been a lot of great trailers in the past. I wanted to highlight 10 of my personal favorites. Trailers that made me really excited to play a particular game. Now I wanted to discuss my thoughts about how things turned out, but overall I think we're going to learn quite a lot from it. I want to know what your guys' favorite trailers are too though. But before you post it in the comments below, let's take a watch and a look at my number 10 choice.
Peggy 12.
One, two, three, four.
You kidding me?
All Earth aliens must die.
No negotiation, no compromise, and no mercy!
Okay, so as you see for number 10, it was Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is probably a big surprise for people because it's not really the best produced trailer. It certainly is a little rough around the edges in terms of editing, but what this trailer really shows in a very quick and blunt fashion is just all the awesome stuff that you're going to see in this game. Now, it is a little bit misleading, but that's part of a good trailer too. You have to give people some kind of incentive to think that there's more to it than there may actually be. So let's go ahead and move on to number 9. This one is going to be quite a world of difference compared to how we ended up with the final product. So let's check it out. Now I want you guys to use some imagination with this one. This was back in 2006. The PlayStation 3 was not even released yet. This was E3 2006. And when you saw what this game looked like compared to every other game that was being debuted at the time, this was no joke. This game looked like completely next generation. As a matter of fact, a lot of people like myself were very skeptical that the game would be able to provide the visuals that it showed at that trailer, not to mention the really frantic and fun-looking battle system. Of course, things have changed a lot, but the game did retain most of its visual elements. Sadly, the battle system wasn't as interesting as we saw on that particular trailer, but I still had a lot of fun with Final Fantasy XIII. I'm probably like one of the few people that actually enjoyed the game, Although I didn't initially enjoy the game. I initially was, like most people, one that just was not a fan of the game. But over time, I learned to grow to appreciate it. But there was another game that we saw a few years later that I think most of us would agree was a groundbreaking success, both in terms of sales as well as fun. And let's check out the trailer for that game.
Why did I move here? I guess it was the weather. Or the... I don't know, that thing. That magic. You see it in the movies. I wanted to retire from what I was doing, you know? From that line of work. Be a good guy for once. A family man. So, I bought a big house. Came here, put my feet up, and thought I'd be a dad like all the other dads. My kids would be like the kids on TV. We'd play ball and sit in the sun, but, well, you know how it is.
I mean, come on, GTA 5, fantastic game, bar none. I honestly don't know anybody that does not like GTA 5, at least somewhat, because there's just so much that you can do in the game, and there's so many fun things to do. Not to mention that the storyline is very well crafted, and it's definitely one of the best that we've seen in a Grand Theft Auto game. Of course, action games like Grand Theft Auto aren't often known for storyline, and sometimes it's more about the experience that we see in games like this. So my number 7 choice seems like it offered an experience that was bar none cream of the crop in terms of action type games. This one was just chilling to the bone, and I really kept up with all the trailers that came out prior to the release of this game. So let's take a look at it.
What are we stopping for? I know my guys.
I guess we're late to the party. Where's the LT?
Hang it right up here.
You ever ask yourself how this part of the world gets so hooked up all the time?
I just work here, Dave. They were investigating a lead on a possible chem weapons site at grid 80. For now, you're the only element I've got to send. Jackson's last known position was Spinza Meat Market, and they're in a bad part of town. Go.
Make sure you have positive ID before you engage.
ID your target. Someone needs to tell the OD to blow those ammo dumps further away.
That's a quick trimmer, boys. We're like 90 clicks from a major fault line.
Not a single city. I don't like this shit. Gun! Sniper! Popping smoke! Engaging! Get him inside! Come on! Come on! Keep fire! Swell it low! Here they come!
I mean, I don't know about you, but I was personally blown away when I saw that Battlefield 3 trailer for the first time. I probably rewatched that thing like 3 or 4 times after the very first time, because I was just blown away by the realism and the atmosphere that this game had. So how was Battlefield 3? Battlefield 3 was actually a pretty good shooter. Now, it was not as groundbreaking as that trailer suggested, but it was definitely one of the top games of the year. Now, funny enough, I actually made a video back in 2011 that I kind of lambasted that game and defended Modern Warfare 3. And that was kind of funny, but looking back, I think Battlefield 3 was certainly the better game out of those two. But you know what? There was another game that came out the same year that provided so much epicness that I think people cannot deny. I mean, heck, we're still seeing this game nowadays. So let's take a look at our number 6 pick.
You should have acted. They're already here. The Elder Scrolls told of their return. Their defeat was merely a delay. To the time after Oblivion opened. When the sons of Skyrim would spill their own blood. But no one wanted to believe they even existed. And when the truth finally dawns, it dawns in fire. But there's one they fear. In their tongue, he is Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.
Can't you just love that song, man? The Elder Scrolls, such an epic franchise. So much fun. I poured over 160 hours on Skyrim, just on Steam alone. That's not counting the original Xbox 360 version I've had. Although I am a little burnt out, understandably, with Skyrim, but talk about epicness, and that trailer certainly stood high on the mark. But there is another game that I want to look at. This one, interestingly enough, is the only one on this list that is for a game that has yet to come out. So I do want to show you just how awesome this trailer is. And yes, I am a total fanboy of the games that this guy works on. You'll see exactly what I mean when you check this trailer out. So here's number 5.
Detroit. This is where it all began. The world's forge. The place where it all started. And it will all end. One error, and I came to life. I stepped out of the darkness, and I opened my eyes. First there was the fear, the light, the noise, the cold, and the fear again. I could feel my hands shaking, my heart pounding in my chest, life running into my veins. I wanted to live. I fought for that. I had to find out what was outside. I had to see daylight, feel sunshine on my skin, wind on my face, to see the world, the colors, the smells. But the world is not what I imagined. It is dark and cold. It is harsh and violent, unfair and brutal. It almost convinced me I was nothing. Less than an object, just an obedient machine. But deep inside me, I could feel something different. A gentle and warm whisper telling me that I am alive. I had to escape. I had no choice. Escape to love, to hope, to live, to figure out what that force inside me was. Maybe I will change the world. Maybe I will choose a different path. No, it's up to me to decide. My name is Kara. I am one of them. This is our story.
Detroit Become Human, the latest David Cage game, Quantic Dream. I cannot wait to play this game. Looks like it'll be a really good experience for the player. Now, this isn't exactly going to be a fun kind of game. After all, there is a real controversy surrounding this game, revolving a particular event that you'll encounter that involves child abuse, which of course is a very serious subject. So understandably, people are kind of upset about that, but nonetheless, I really enjoy the storytelling that David Cage offers in his games, and that's why I'm really looking forward to Detroit Become Human. Now, there is another game that I want to show that, for very different reasons, I was excited for. This game offered visuals that seemed to be unreal, and yet it actually delivered. Not to mention gameplay that was revolutionary and helped to shape the things that we see today in gaming. So let's check out the trailer for number 4. Mirror's Edge. Such a fantastic game. Probably one of my favorite games of last generation, bar none. It's definitely in the top 5. Just a well-produced game that from start to finish is a real adrenaline thrill ride. It does have some flaws, of course, but this game is such a treat to play, and it's like one of the few games from then that still look really great today, just because of the fantastic visual style. Mirror's Edge is one that's going to live on, in my opinion. And sadly, it was better than the new one. I mean, come on, EA. What happened? Now, this next game not only met expectations, but it exceeded them into the stratosphere. This was a game that won countless awards. And when you see this trailer, you will understand why people like myself were excited for this game. So let's take a look at number 3.
The history of the royal family of Hyrule is also the history of the Calamity Ganon, a primal evil that has endured over the ages.
Tells me that you have no recollection of me, however.
I think you are now ready to hear what happened 100 years ago.
Everything I've done up until now, it was all for nothing.
Here it comes!
You must save her, my daughter.
Open your eyes.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was a masterpiece in the making. I mean, this is a game that us Nintendo Zelda fans have been waiting for for years and years. I'm talking about the old school Zelda fans, mind you, the ones that have been there since the beginning. This was the kind of game that we envisioned in our heads whenever we were exploring the land of Hyrule. The possibilities, the adventure, everything that was part of this game. And this trailer was just a small slice of what the game had to offer. So it is without a doubt that Breath of the Wild wholeheartedly earned the Game of the Year award from the VGAs as well as a ton of other places. Now I do have to point out my number 2 trailer is going to shock the hell out of you, because you have to take into context the time that this trailer came out. This was 2013, 3 years before this game would release. And this was something that just opened up a new universe for us to explore. As a matter of fact, not just one universe, infinite. So let's take a look. I mean, come on, 2013, No Man's Sky. It just seemed like this game had infinite possibility. And perhaps some of us were not skeptical enough at the time. But as we saw more and more, at least in my personal perspective, I started to digress from my opinion of the game. And eventually I was like, you know what, I'm just going to wait and see what people say about it before I buy it. And obviously most of the buzz was not that great, so I still haven't got it yet. But I'd still like to get it one time. I still want to experience what that game would be like for myself. Maybe with all the patches and things like that we have now, this would actually be a really fun game to play. But the number 1 selection, oh man, I don't think a trailer for a video game has impacted me emotionally so much. And I'm not alone in this. As you guys may have noticed, there may have been some notable omissions for the top trailer of all time. And there can be only one. So what game is it? You're about to find out.
Product not yet rated.
Honestly, can anyone be surprised that #1 is the Dead Island announcement trailer? That is a cinematic masterpiece, without a doubt. The best trailer that we've ever had in a video game. Yes, better than Death Stranding. Because for one, you actually have an idea of what the hell is going on. But anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed this look at my top 10 best game trailers of all time. Now this is, as of my opinion, as of December 2017. So things can always change, guys. But I want to know what you thought about this video. And let me know some of the notable omissions in the comments below. I imagine that we'll probably hear about some more like the Star Wars The Old Republic trailer, which is also really good. But that's one I didn't even see until after the game came out. So there are some notable omissions for games that I already played or they already came out. So I'm not going to count any trailers like that. You know, because I mean the Final Fantasy trailer is awesome. The Final Fantasy VII one. But come on, guys. Who had access to watching trailers back in 1997? But anyways, that's enough rambling for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Till then, Downphoenix out.